Now, other interesting cultural news, you have Joe Rogan calling out Bud Light, as many people have. And he is the most popular podcaster in history, bar none. More views on more people watch him than any news network. Granted, those are mostly dog shit anyway, but still, a lot of people respect his opinion. He's so popular, I don't even have to give an intro. Though I will. He's a famous podcaster, comedian, and UFC announcer. Jack of all trades. Now, when the topic came up during a recent interview, he said, quote, "The only time capital respects opinions is when people boycott shit, and it works, like the Bud Light thing. And now there are people who are like, don't do that again." Unquote. Which, it's true. If I was a shareholder in Bud Light, which the only people who were, if you shorted the stock April 1st, brilliant, you're rich beyond all belief. But if I was a shareholder, I would be telling the CEO to get fired, and I'd say, apologize and never get involved in politics again. Ever, ever, ever. Stick to pretending like you love America, even though now you're owned by Belgian-based InBev, which they created Anheuser-Busch InBev. That's the new global company. I would tell them, yeah, don't do this. You're losing us money. Quite literally destroying jobs. Now, Joe Rogan further explained, quote, "Take a brand like Bud Light. It's a blue collar drinking people. Sorry. Dyslexia, it's a real thing, probably. For me, maybe. Now, quote, "Take a brand like Bud Light. It's for blue-collar drinking people, and they like to watch football and drink Bud Light, and then all of a sudden they have this mentally ill person who's just an attention whore," unquote. Which, yeah, that's pretty damn accurate. If you look at the previous videos of Dylan Mulvaney before Dylan had Dylan's thing, YouTube is like 1984. If you say certain pronouns that they don't agree with, your YouTube videos are taken off the platform completely, which is why I'll also eventually be building this off on Rumble and Twitter as well. I actually have a Twitter handle for the show. It's called The Topping Show, and I'm starting to use it more and more. Check it out if you'd like to see a little bit more. Now, before Dylan decided to celebrate 365 days of being a woman by embracing the most stereotypical and I would say offensive things and unrealistic things that women apparently do, like having a video where Dylan prances through the forest wearing high heels. And I did ask my mom and my sister, I said, is this something that women do? That's a fun? And of course they laughed at me because it was a joke, because obviously they don't do that. But even before that, Dylan was on a little Jeopardy show, and the body language and the facial expressions, the pontification and the overly emotional, it's all the same. It's just now there's different clothes and $1 million sponsorships. So apparently the companies like what he's doing. It's doing. Dylan's. I digress. Video's gone, I guess. Now, Joe Rogan further explained, quote, "I think it's an ESG thing, and Target lost billions of dollars because people are sick of this shit. They're sick of social things that are controversial, getting stuffed in your face where you don't want to accept it, and people are like, I don't want to accept it. I'm just here for some effing toilet paper," unquote. Very true. Very true. I don't think of people where they go, you know what, Timmy, Johnny, Sally, the family, let's go to a grocery store and see things that are about topics we don't want to talk about or are not age appropriate. I don't know why stores continue to do this, partially because the ESG scores, it affects everything the business does in terms of who invests in the company, where they get their financing from the banks. It's quite literally a big deal, and time shall tell to see if anything is done to reverse that Marxist scoreboard, but outlook is not so good. But now that one of the most influential podcasters in history is speaking up about the topics more and more, it'll be interesting to see how much of a cultural shift this has, as many people on the middle of the political aisle, they also tune into Joe Rogan. It's not just people on the left or people on the right. He quite literally has the largest audience. So it'll be interesting to see if now that he's giving more and more of his input, does that help shift the cultural discussion a little bit and start shifting some opinions? I certainly hope so. As I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. We're trying to get up to 3,000 subscribers in July, so if you could take the time to click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. The feedback greatly helps the channel out as we try to get the production better and better and better over time. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, Tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.